What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Keith Mills, and I'm here with my bro,
Studio Breeze was good with y'all.
and we are the Struggle Bros. And today we must pour one out for the big homies over at Bluepoint Games. Another loss that we've taken to the game industry over the last few years, and this one definitely hurts, especially close to home. There's been a lot of studios that definitely I feel like hits close to home for both of us, but this one I feel like can hit close to home for a lot of different reasons. They were essentially a remake slash remaster studio. They've been doing that for well over a decade at this point, and they put me onto some games. Like for instance, we're gonna go down the list a little bit. The last game that they remade was Demon Souls. My love, my Shayla. I never probably would have experienced this if not for the remake, because it looks like grease and dish soap in a bowl on the PS3. I'm not even gonna lie to you, brother. And say what you will about Demon Souls, about it being like the redheaded stepchild to the Soul series, but it started it all off, and I think it deserves more than its respect for that. And I don't know, man. It's like I said, I wouldn't have experienced this otherwise. So I really appreciate this studio for taking the time and remaking something like this. I feel like even though this industry is very much oversaturated with remakes and remasters, and I'm sure we all can agree we'd all love some more IP with a little more creativity, we have to appreciate remakes and remasters because they allow a new generation of gamers to experience something they may have never experienced, like pieces of art they never would have experienced, as well as allowing people to relive, childhoods, great moments in their life from these games from many moons ago, and experience it with a fresh new coat of paint, fresh new set of eyes for the first time, and it's beautiful, honestly.
I agree. I agree. Coming from someone who hasn't really experienced many of the Souls-like games, as far as from like that earlier part, like the beginning phase, it's so great to be able to have something so accessible, so and more modernized. Even though I heard there was a bit of controversy for the changes that they had art style wise, and in certain areas like gameplay wise, perhaps people were like super fans, at least the purists. But I myself, I found that to be better, a better point of entry for people to get into that, because that Demon Souls, like, we're the birthplace of it all. So I feel like definitely if you wanted to get like a more well-rounded idea of how it started rather than a full one-to-one carbon copy, I feel like it's still a very honorable and well-worthy mention in the series for sure. And so shout out to Bluepoint for that. And it just sucks that someone who especially when they got shut down while making the whole God of War live service game for Sony, that was greenlit by Sony, you know in lieu of just Sony having them make like a Bloodborne remake, even though people don't want to make, people definitely have said that they want that, but they don't want Bluepoint to do it. It's been a whole lot of controversy about that, possibly because they don't want anything to be changed about how Bloodborne was, because it's like we were talking before, and it's kind of like a near perfect game, to be honest. Like, and it's so crazy because didn't it come out like 2014? Like,
Yeah, something like that.
it's insane, and just the way it feels, the art style, just everything about the setting in general, and all of the different biomes and different areas of Bloodborne. It's just that Lovecraftian horror shit. It's amazing. It's truly amazing. Some of the best to do it, honestly. Just setting wise.
Hands down, hands down. And we would not have gotten all that without Demon Souls. And we've talked privately about, because you seem to be like a little semi-emerging fan of Metal Gear. Come August, I believe, you pretty much will be able to play every single mainline Metal Gear game on your PlayStation 5 with the Metal Gear Remaster Collection Volume 1 and 2. And what's so special about that is Volume 2 specifically, Metal Gear Solid 4 and Peace Walker were hard stuck on PS3, and I guess technically Vita, which is even worse. And we all thought Metal Gear Solid 4 was not making it out the bando, but it for sure made its way back home.
PS3 hell.
It for sure made its way back home. And even though I have a PS3 and I have that on PS3, I gotta support the game. I gotta support the game because I'm doing that for the people who finally get to experience that for the first time. And it's funny I mentioned that because Bluepoint also did the Metal Gear Solid HD collection, which included Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, and Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, as well as like the arcade versions of like the original Metal Gear games. And I got that for Christmas back in 2011, I believe, maybe 2012, and I still have that disc to this day. It's cracked and all, but that bitch still works for me. Countless hours. I've said in the previous video that Metal Gear Solid 2 is the video game I've probably played the most in my life, and most of that time was spent on that game. That's probably why it's cracked now. But yeah, I love that collection, and because I had the originals on PS2, and that has allowed me to be able to play that on PS3.
And that's why we need more studios to be able to make remakes, which is why in the end, this whole Bluepoint thing is really like a sore spot for real. because there's so many different games like from the past that we know that they definitely are companies that that they could make similar to Bluepoint, that could do these things. And it's kind of like I feel like it garnishes a fear for talent that could do this, could be like a studio that can do Bluepoint things where like they remaster some old games that we love, or just completely remake them all the way from the ground up to modernize them and have them for more fun for the new generation and stuff like that. But knowing that like you can just get canned after having such great success with that, like it just, I don't know, some people might be not willing to go down that route.
Yeah, I definitely get that's probably why a lot don't want to venture out even more with new IPs. And it's weird. It's like when you experience a like remaster.
Wait,
Especially
before you say that, isn't that crazy? It's scary to go for new IPs. It's scary to go back in the past. Like, what are they supposed to do?
What more do you want from me?
That's insane. That's really. I feel bad for the developers out there, but like, it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't nowadays. This economy.
And it's like one strike and it's over. Sometimes you don't even get to have a damn strike. Sometimes you don't even get to put a game out before you get shut down, which is maybe a couple studios Sony did have that shut down that didn't get to even release a damn game. Like, what the hell did you buy them for, or make the whole new studio?
Yeah, it's really ridiculous. Like, what is the point of just to have something under your belt? Xbox bought all those big companies, and I don't know, maybe Sony should have a whole bunch. It's like a quality over quantity type thing.
We see that is working perfectly well,
swimmingly over there. But more on that in another video, because good lord, we can talk about that forever about the L's Xbox has been taking. Good god. But yeah, overall, Bluepoint, it's really sad to see you go. Some people were saying, who the hell asked for, the God of War live action thing? I would have liked to see what they were going to cook with that, personally. It reminded me of, I didn't even know about that until hearing about this. It reminded me of like God of War Ascension. I was like hoping it was going to be something like that, but like I guess it would be more modernized, which I would hope they wouldn't, like, it wasn't going to go too heavy on monetization, but like if it had that sweet spot, like a Marvel Rivals type of deal with the customization and things like that, right, and still kind of had that similar like create your own Spartan and like choose which god that you're descended upon, so that dictates what kind of abilities you get and stuff like that, into like arena style fighting with like other like multiplayer like modes and stuff like that. They had like capture the flag, team deathmatch, all types of stuff, free for all, and that in God of War Ascension. So I'm like, they brought that to like now, I would have loved that. That's like but I did hear that they were having some deadline issues. So that was one of the reasons they had got axed, which sucks.
Yeah, and that's like the crazy thing. Like, God of War Ascension is a game that's strapped on PS3, and without without those remakes and remasters, a lot of games would be stuck. I mean, like Bluepoint, they did the Ico and Shadow of the Colossus collection, Gravity Rush. Yep. They did God of War collection. They added it was a collection of 1 and 2. So much incredible work was done to help preserve gaming, because that's the most important thing we really need to do. And in an industry where they want to take your games away from you, studios like these was a reminder of the type of art that is made to be experienced and not to be sold.
But that's the gripe of the gaming industry now. It's all about the ones and the zeros, and it's not about the actual passion projects. It's about what's going to make them the most money the fastest. And so we see a lot of creativity be stifled for them to say that you made a lot of money, sure, but it's not what we wanted you to make. It's not enough. It's not as much as we wanted. So now we got to axe your entire company. And they said around 70 people were affected by this. So pour one out for Bluepoint. But I mean, those are our thoughts pretty much on the whole Bluepoint thing. It really sucks to see them go, and feel bad for the families and the people affected. And we really thank all the creativeness that you brought to the table. Remakes are not still a pillar in gaming history, I'd say. For the small portion that you were a part of it, still did a lot.
Definitely. And just a personal thank you to Bluepoint for really, while I've dabbled in it, they really introduced me, I'd say, to the Souls-like series, and I couldn't be more happy as a gamer knowing I got to experience that because of them. So thank you. That's been our thoughts about the shutdown of Bluepoint Games. Please let us know how you guys feel. What was your favorite collection or remaster remake that Bluepoint did? And I'm Keese.
Breeze.
The struggle art continues.
Be breezy.